Welcome to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. Tighten up, man. Mr. J. Lou G, what's going on, fellas?
Tighten up, baby. Tighten up. Tighten up.
Well, gentlemen, we didn't think we was going to be here tonight like this, but, that's why you got to line up and play the game. Let me get stuff pulled up. Man, we sitting here still reeling off of yesterday's defeat. Tough one to swallow for Titans fans across all platforms. It was this. I like to characterize the game as a game of missed opportunities, and we're gonna get that broken down a little bit more here later. But coming into this week, fellas, a lot of build up coming in. The return of the King. Everybody was hyped, was excited about him coming back after being out for such a long period since October. Home field advantage with a chance just to win one game, right? To get to the AFC Championship game, which would have been hosted here in Nashville. But history has been good to this football team, fellas, and y'all know it since they've had the number one seed. They're 0-2 so far, and then after this game, 0-3. Owen, you got four fingers up there, G Wood? I can't see.
No, 3.
Okay, yeah, be 0-3 after this game. And so, losing twice to the Ravens, 2000-2001 season, and then again to the Ravens in 2008-2009 season. The Titans came in as a 4-point favorite. I didn't like that because we don't play good as a favorite to win. So
everybody picked us.
Right, everybody picked us. And so a lot of things this tough coming in this week. We all knew the Titans. We all agreed last week the Titans were going to start fast instead of going that typical 3 and out on multiple offensive possessions.
All right.
Right. And the Bengals, they finally won a playoff game first time in 31 years. So a lot of different stories coming into this football game. A sensational young core led by Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Results: Cincinnati 19, Titans 16 in a walk-off field goal. One big takeaway, J. Lou. Let me hit me up, man. One big takeaway from yesterday's football game.
My one big takeaway, I'm going to keep it simple and be positive. Pay Jeffrey Simmons whatever he asked for and pay him this summer and pay him now. That's going to be my takeaway, man. I don't think I've ever seen a game where you sack the quarterback 9 times. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons had 8 solo tackles, 3 sacks.
Yes.
And we lost the game.
Let's clarify something. Jeffrey Simmons actually had 5 sacks.
Yeah, yes, you're right.
2,
yes.
Yeah, that's true because penalties. Yeah, that's right.
Penalties. Yes, but he did what we thought he would do to that offensive line and embarrassed the man. And it's that's my takeaway is that we talked all season that this defense. I'm gonna give you another takeaway that's negative, Ed. But the defense, we talked all season about this pass rush. Believe it or not, Joe Burrow is terrible against zone.
He is.
If you blitz him, that's when he eats you alive. And the Titans played for the most part a lot of zone last night. This was a game right in our wheelhouse because we like to just rush 4. And that 4 lived up to the hype last night.
Right.
My other takeaway, man, is going to be that none of us should be surprised about the offense. I will say I was glad to see that the first play of the game, like I said, should have been play action. But
2-man route.
Yes.
Golly.
That was some difference to it. I mean, I'm not the smartest man in math, but if I'm sending 2 men out and I got 5 that's checking them, I don't like my odds. So I like the play call. I don't like the play. And I think you saw that evident a lot last night where I think the play call was great. The plays were terrible. So those would be I give you 2, Ed. That'll be my takeaway.
G Wood, what about you, man?
Well, I gotta basically reiterate what J. Lou said. The defense, man. I'm sorry. You hold a high-powered offense to 19 points for the entire game. Basically, they had 300 yards pass. Joe Burrow had 300 yards passing, but anyway, I mean, there was a lot of times he was in point-blank range for scoring touchdowns. They only scored 1 touchdown the whole game.
Right.
One.
Right. A team averaging 27 points a game.
Yes. They only scored 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and you talking about even with the turnovers, they getting into plus territory, and you holding them to field goals.
Right.
You know, yeah, we had some mistakes, we had some missed tackles and everything, but still overall, man, I just thought the defense played good. Offensively, I agree with Jay Lou on that one too. Basically, you had a lot of plays, a lot of situations that were called that I thought were the right thing to do, but the execution was just okay. I just put it like this: the offense is what I've been saying for the past, I don't know.
You said it all year.
Basically,
I mean, the whole season.
Right.
I said it. I've been saying it for the past. I said we got an offense that cannot score, and that's what we got. Offense has been averaging 13 points a game over the past, I'm going to say, including last night, 7 games, I believe, 8 games.
Close to it.
They've been averaging 13 points a game, and that's all they've been scoring. And if you think about it, they only scored 10 points last night because the one touchdown they scored with AJ, that was off an interception.
Right.
So the offense only generated 9 points last night because they missed. Although I don't necessarily disagree with going for 2. I thought it was okay, a little crazy, but I thought it was okay. I understood what he was trying to do, but execution of the play didn't happen. I mean, Blasingame missed his block. That's all it is to it.
Well, it wasn't too much Blasingame because it was the backside cutoff. Is a guy on the backside of the play. He can make the play. Don't get me wrong, but you should be cutting that off. So to your point, and I'll go ahead and take my takeaways. But to your point, I'm sorry for cutting you off. But to your point, everybody has to execute to make the play happen. And what we saw execution was poor. And I had to give Vrabel credit because he said that, he admitted that, right? And so not only that, but turnovers once again, we talked about that on that 1-3 streak they had 13 turnovers. 3 interceptions and 1 turnover on downs last night. You can't win. I don't care who you play. You can't win that. The play call was poor, to your point, Jay Lou, just like you said, man. I love the play call on the first play of the game, play action, but why are you sending 2 guys in out on the route? One you send deep, the other one you run a curl. Cincinnati's playing a cover 3 where the safety is coming down playing the same curl route, and bang, interception. He's right there. You're right. Sloppy play all over the field, questionable decision making, and missed opportunities throughout this game. Like I said, the theme for me on this game is missed opportunities, and we're gonna get some of those examples here in a minute. But let's break down the offense, fellas. 353 yards total, 213 passing, 140 yards rushing. Those are not bad numbers, right? Yeah, you say, hey, they had some pretty good numbers, but first quarter alone, 0 for 3, 0 conversions on third down, 4 drives for a total of 37 yards, a turnover, a sack, and 3 negative yard plays. So, guys, we can't. No, you can't win like that. Like I said,
don't start you wanted.
Right. And you saw what happened to Tampa Bay. What they do today? They started slow too. And guess what? Yeah. They lost. They lost. And so, Jay Lou, man, talk to me about this offense, man. We were texting back and forth last night, and I mean, truth be honest, and let me get this out there, and I'm gonna let you talk, man. I'm sorry. So Todd Downer's got to go. We've been saying it all year. He has no creativity in his offense. For whatever reason, after he runs the ball consecutive good, he wants to throw the ball. That is.
You're talking about
the Foreman run.
The section interception.
Yeah, the Foreman run. Yes, you run the ball, you're gashing them down the field. You got the King going a little bit that drive. You bring in Foreman, you're gashing them, and then you line up in shotgun on the 10-yard line and try to throw a bubble screen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's what's the saying we were saying last night? He is afraid to be great.
Yeah.
Literally, that drive, you had Cincinnati. That really was the knockout punch on their defense because they didn't want to tackle the guys running.
No, they didn't.
And you come out there and you throw a bubble screen that the defender Milton made a heck of a play.
He did. Give him his credit.
What I hate about the offense last night, and again, I'm sure we'll get to it because you heard everybody say Tannehill got to go, and $50 million dead cap.
He's not going anywhere.
The salary cap is, we know the salary cap's funny money. So I'll say there's a 99.9% chance he stays, but you never know. But Downing, to your point, is the one that has to go. You've got to get an offensive coordinator in here who can tailor that game to Tannehill's strength. And last night, again, we saw it. You talk about the curl. So it's funny you bring that up. The first play of the game was a pick on a curl. The last interception of the game was a dumb curl route. And if you look at the targets, I don't have a problem because we targeted AJ 9 times. You targeted Julio 7. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, who's been great, had 0 targets the whole game until the final pass of the game. At that point, and this is where I think Vrabel and Todd Downing had some coaching malpractice on the offense. First of all, there was no urgency on a 2-minute drive. And
none.
At that point on third down, when you wasted the clock that long, run the ball, let your MVP punter get out there and just go to overtime. Because I think your defense was in a position where Joe Burrow didn't want to see that defense anymore. Because
he didn't want to see Big Jeff. Right.
He didn't want to see Big Jeff. They were eating. And I'll be honest, the defense still should have made that play at the end, but I think they were a little bit shell-shocked because they didn't expect to go back out there. And then, we played that 15-man yard off, and Jamar Chase makes a great play. But, man, the offense last night, I don't think, everybody, you had no restrictions on the King, but health-wise, the King was restricted.
He was.
And I just think that, when you look at him, he had 20 carries for 60. Foreman had 4 for 66.
Mm-hmm.
You take away the 46-yard run, he still got 3 for 20. That's almost 7 yards a pop. Right. I don't think they were mixing and matching that enough. And another thing I didn't like about the run, all 4 of Foreman's runs came with a lead fullback. You didn't have a fullback in there for the King. Jeff Swain missed every block he had, and then whoever this tight end is, number 83, he definitely went to the Jeff Swain school of blocking. So overall, man, the offense looked like as crazy as it sounds, they regressed in the bye week.
You're right.
What we saw out there. So it was just Todd Downing should have packed up his office today. That's all I got about the offense.
Hey, G-Whip. So G-Whip, I know you get ready to go into on the offense, man, but tell me this, G, wait, when you break it down for us. AJ and Julio were both eating. They were eating. And Julio's not even on the field the last play for the Titans on offense.
Nope.
I just can't understand that. Your dogs were healthy, they were playing, and you don't even have them on the field when it's crucial minutes of the game. And then I'm gonna let you go, G. I'm sorry. So instead of Westbrook-Ikhine on that pass, Versa, he checks the line of scrimmage. He chips off the defensive end. He's got a 5-yard route. He's wide open for the first down. Tannehill don't even look at him.
No.
This is not. So all the folks that said Tannehill, this has been having all year. He's not a big game quarterback. He's not. Let's just put it out there. He's not. He's not a big game.
Before you go, G-Win, just one more thing about that, Ed, what you just said. Let's rewind to January 2021. Baltimore.
Please.
I believe A.J. Brown's wide open, and we went to Khalif Raymond. He stared him down. It was an exact replica Saturday night. I mean, he's afraid of his dogs when it's the most important time. So.
Oh, G, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You got the mic.
All right. Y'all pretty much covered everything, but I'm going to say this, and we've been saying it all year. After the first game, we knew Todd Downing had to go. I mean, let's just be real about it. We said it from the get-go. His offense has no imagination. He had one little streak there in a couple of games where he was actually doing some decent play calling, but then after the King went down, he just lost all hope with it and could not function with it, and he just doesn't get the job done. I mean, like you guys have been saying, he's very predictable. Like I said before, it's like Jeff Fisher's back out here, been the head coach again. The offense is predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen on each and every play. Tannehill is Tannehill. Let's just put that. Let's just get that out there, so people can just understand. We said it when we first got him. Mm-hmm. There was a reason why Miami let him go. You got to understand that. He's great in the regular season. He can get some games won. But in the playoffs, you got to be, let's just be honest about it, you got to be a dog. Yes. You got to be one of those guys that just don't care. We're just going to go out here and win the game. and you can perform your job the way you're supposed to perform it.
Mm-hmm.
Tannehill cannot do that. Bottom line is, and you know, he just freezes up.
Yep.
That's the nice way of putting it. He just freezes up. His habit of staring down receivers is just it becomes magnified. And the other thing about it, and I'm gonna say this on that opening play, the interception, it was a bad play call. Don't get me wrong. I mean, as far as how they ran it.
Right.
But if he throws the ball before Julio makes his break,
it's
complete.
Yeah.
He waits till Julio makes his break, sits in the spot, then throws the ball. It's too late.
Right. That's right.
And he was like that all game long.
Yes.
He was throwing the ball late all game long. There was a couple of times on those deep passes that A.J. Brown caught. If he throws it on time, A.J. Brown can take it to the house. But he's throwing it late.
Yep.
So Tannehill is Tannehill. He's never been the lead quarterback. Never, and nobody's claiming that he is. He's just not the guy that's going to take you there in the playoffs. I thought they should have used Deontay Foreman a lot more than they used him. Yeah. And the reason being is that he was in the flow of the offense as far as hitting the hole and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas Derrick Henry was not really there.
Right.
Let's just be honest about it. The King was it was good to see him. He ran good a few times, but a lot of times he was just slow off the ball. Yeah. And again, you can't expect nothing else. I would have preferred if they, even with them starting him, let him in there, let him take a couple of hits, get him out, play Deontay Foreman a lot more.
Right.
Because you saw the offense, actually the running game really clicked with Deontay Foreman in there.
It did. You're right. It did.
It did.
Tannehill on that second interception, that was the one that really, I think, broke the camel's back, in all honesty. Yeah. Because you just go down there, you get in the red zone, you got to go from the 10, and you throw a weak screen. On that play, you know, Tannehill is, and this is his MO. He's so robotic sometimes, man, that, you know, he just threw the pass automatically. He didn't even think about the guy being there. He didn't even try to pump fake him.
Pump fake, right. Thank you. I was going to say that. Right.
So that's a problem, man. I mean, seriously. They're not going to get rid of Tannehill. Right. I don't know if they're going to get rid of Todd Downing. Because the excuse they're going to say for Todd Downing is that people were hurt all season long. But the bottom line is he has absolutely no imagination. This is the simple way of looking at it. Go back to the 2020 season and compare it to this season.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you the play action pass is more than half reduced.
Yeah, definitely.
Offense goes from being top 5 to the bottom half of the league in all categories. So to me, that's reason enough that you got to go out and find another offensive coordinator because Todd Downing just can't get the job done. So on the offensive side, I thought AJ played good. I thought Julio played good. I had no problems with Derrick Henry the way he played, in all honesty, considering he just came back off an injury.
That's true.
But I will say this right now, as far as the series that lets you know you need to get rid of Todd Downing, the 3rd and 1 and the 4th and 1.
I was going to talk about that in just a second. We'll keep going.
No. Go ahead. I'm trying to lead you in. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm gonna get some comments in real quick. I'm gonna go on that note. Butchie says, "Do we think that we can win a Super Bowl being a run first team? All the Pro Bowl running backs are sitting on the couch. All the remaining teams' offenses are centered around their number one receiver. I think we can. The problem is we don't have a quarterback.
Well,
that's the problem."
There are always 2 things in the NFL that will carry you through to the Super Bowl:
defense and a run game. That's right.
And a good defense.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We got both of those. The problem we had last night, turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over, we could win the game easily.
Definitely.
The thing you have to admire about Joe Burrow, the thing you got to admire about him, he took 9 sacks. He only had 1 turnover, and I'm going to be honest with you, that was a fluke.
Yeah.
I give Hooker credit for making a play, but when I saw the replay, I was like, they're going to overturn that one. So I just thought we got a gift.
If they hadn't called it interception on the field, I think they would have. Yeah. I think they would have overturned.
Exactly.
So let's do this. So missed opportunities, guys, for the offense. So we talked about the last play for the offense for the Titans on the last interception. So here's the lineup that's on the field: AJ Brown, Nick Westbrook-Ikini, Ferkster, Rodgers, Julio. Where's Julio? I already asked that. Where's Julio? And then G, to your point, 3rd and 1. The game is tied, right? We got momentum. We moving the ball down the field. Game is tied. We done came back. We done took punches. Now we punching back. Got the momentum. Good drive going. You line up in the shotgun. Number 22 in the backfield. 3rd and 1. I told my wife, I said, it's read option. It's read option. We all know what's going to happen. And guess what? They knew it too. But you don't change it up. See, so predictable. And then 4th and 1, the next play, a dive play with a stout front with DJ Reader, who's been in the backfield eating on the run game, and you don't have Blasingame in there. Missed opportunities. We talked about 2-point conversion already, fellas. Backside block, didn't cut off. A drop by my man Blasingame for a 1st down, wide open. 1st down.
Running before he caught the ball.
Missed opportunities. A.J. Brown. Tannehill overthrows him. He beats the coverage deep. Beats the DB, beat him. Beat both and the safety. Overthrows him. Missed opportunities, guys. Then, like we mentioned already, Foreman goes 45 yards and you come down, line up on the shotgun on the 10-yard line. Interception, balls tipped. Missed opportunities, man. Missed opportunities for this team. Foreman goes for 4 for 66, like you mentioned, Jay Luke. Derrick Henry 20 for 62 and a touchdown. And he was rushed. You could tell his conditioning wasn't even there, right? And I don't blame him, but he played good for considering what he was put into, right? A.J. Brown 5 for 142 and a touchdown. Julio Jones 6 for 62. Missed opportunities, guys. And I got something for the defense too. So let's go to the defense, fellas. And don't get me wrong. They played, I'm not going to say great. They played good because there were some things out there that happened that could have changed the time for that game. But you give him credit. Jeffrey Simmons is a man. I agree with you, Jay Lou. They need to go on and pay him now because his ticket is going sky high. They're already talking about him being the next Aaron Donald. And so he really dominated that game last night. I mean, we hadn't seen that like that since the A-Town stomp when he was balling before he got lazy. And so, Jay, that's G. Witt's name for Albert Hainsworth.
I like that one.
A-Town stomp. So Jay Lou, man, give me some on this defense, like what you saw, what you liked, what you didn't like.
So what I liked was that front four, man. I think we had the right amount of blitzes last night from that standpoint. And the front four did, it started with the pseudo MVP of the defense all year, and that was Nico Archer.
Nico.
He was balling. So that front four did what they did, even when you were rotating guys in and out. The defense did what they're supposed to do against the run. Now, granted, I will say there is some terrible communication and gap assignment on that touchdown run because you had been stout against the run, and this man high stepped in. And believe it or not, and again, maybe it's that we don't need to have the bye week, but we forgot how to tackle. Christian Fulton, I think he got shook when he let his old teammate burn him on the first one.
Then he talked trash to him.
And he missed tackles the rest of the night. Even David Long. We're just trying to go in and hit with the shoulder and just bouncing off right off guys.
Yeah, so that hurt you and get a sting on your own.
Yes, that's just undisciplined what we're not used to seeing from that defense. But overall, I thought coverage held up well, considering, even when you look at the numbers, Cincinnati just throws the ball. You can't run against it, so those numbers will start adding up.
Right.
But I just think that, now, again, a thing they need to work on in the offseason. If we're going to be a man-press defense, then man press all the time.
Hit the man.
You can't be 10 yards off the ball running cover zero.
You can't. Thank you. You cannot do that. And then, for the love of everything, if I know they need 20 yards to gain, why are you going to give it to them? Because that we literally gave up the field goal range.
Tell him, Lil Lou. Tell him.
Even he agrees with me. So that's something that I think that's G. Witt's boy that's still coaching the DBs, Mr. Midget. Yeah. He probably needs to go too, because that's just as good as this defense was. I think coaching sometimes. And again, I know we talked about it a lot last year, that maybe they're just going out there and doing what the coaches tell them to do. That's got to be what it is when I saw the last drive when, again, they only need 20 yards. That's one pass play in the NFL today. And you gave him 15 free yards. 15 free. So, again, I agree with you, Ed. They didn't play great. They played well enough to win. Because if you would have told me that they're going to hold Cincinnati to 4 field goals and 1 touchdown, 19 points, and we lose, then I would say, G-Wood was right. This offense can't get over 13. So I think, again, the pass rush again was just phenomenal.
Phenomenal. G-Wood, man. Christian Fulton picked the wrong week to have his worst game of his career.
Absolutely.
But go ahead, G. Talk about this defense.
The bottom line was when he got burned on that first one, and really it surprised me because he did something he hadn't done all season.
Yep.
He hesitated.
That's right. He did.
The ball goes out there. He makes the tackle straight up. He hesitated, and Chase just shook him and was gone. But I will give credit where credit is due. Amani Hooker came back and made a great play on that to stop him from scoring.
Yeah. He did. That was so smart. That was so smart. That is it. Intelligent football right there.
Yeah, because you get in front of the guy, you slide down, slow him down, and let Cunningham catch him from behind. Mm-hmm. You even though it was a big play for them, you still just held him to a field goal.
Right. That's right.
This is the thing I'm looking at the defense. I know we can say they played good, not great. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna say they played great because you held a high-powered offense that's been averaging 27 points a game to basically 16 points for the whole game until the last one.
Yeah,
16 points.
Right.
You only gave up 1 touchdown and 3 field goals, and I'm talking about they're getting down in the red zone, having to settle for field goals.
Right. That's
now,
right.
Granted, don't get me wrong. There were some plays you missed, but that's going to happen on defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to happen. Jack Rabbit missed an interception.
Oh,
he should have had. He just flat out missed it.
Missed opportunities.
You said that wrong. He missed a pick 6.
Pick 6. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's pick 6. Yeah.
He knew it was a pick 6, and he forgot to catch the ball.
Yeah, he forgot to catch the ball. That's right. Hit him right in the hands.
Yeah, I agree. Some of the cover schemes were just horrible. I'm like, you get them in second and long, and all of a sudden everybody's playing 8-10 yards off the line of scrimmage. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
You've been killing them the whole time playing press. Why you get backing off the line of scrimmage? And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I think these coaches, they outcoach themselves.
It does.
In all honesty, because your defense was feasted from the get-go. Tannehill throws an interception, and we almost. Matter of fact, they should have been knocked out of field goal range if the
delay a game.
Delay a game, which Eddie, I'm gonna bring it back to you, our resident official. Jabbar, I know you've done it too. We had to take the delay a game on that play, but when we had a delay a game, they gave them an option. Why?
They shouldn't have gave him an option if it killed a play.
Yeah, I thought delay a game is an automatic dead ball, like you can't get a play. Like if I'm Cincinnati's coaches, I'm upset that you gave me the delay a game because if you look at it, Burrow took a shot to his knees on that play.
He did.
It's a dead play. So I think it was some shady officiating because I counted Cincinnati going off sides at least 3 times.
False start. Yes.
False start. I mean, easy false start.
One was so egregious. I'm like, what is the line judge looking at?
Yeah. I saw that too. I was like, man, that's false start. That's false start. 3 times in a row.
That's the thing about it. And I was telling a couple of guys up in the stand, because like we're hitting them, and they took the sack away. Yes. I'm like, you don't want them to take that sack away because we had sacked him, and they were getting ready to punt from their own end zone.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Come on now, you want to take, and they're gonna say like, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? Come on. There were 2 sacks they took away from us, and they converted the next play.
Next play, yep.
Right.
They converted.
Right. That's right.
They got do-overs, man, and that was one thing that really upset me because I thought the defense was shutting him out. Like I said, Jeffrey Simmons he had 5 sacks in that game. 2 of them got taken away.
At one time, he got held and got him and it was him and Bud Dupree came in there, and they didn't even call it. He got arm around his neck.
They didn't even call it. That's what I'm saying, man. This defense was playing lights out. if our offense does not turn the ball over, it's a win.
Right.
So bottom line is, I thought the defense played great. They gave up some plays, but they played great. I'm just going to be different from both of you.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine, man. This is part of the show. So let's get down to some more numbers. Cunningham, 10 tackles, man. The man's a beast. He got to stick around. We talked about Simmons, David Long.
Rashad Evans is gone. I mean,
he was a healthy scratch last night. We saw that. Danico Archer, like I said, I think it was Carlton that said MVP of the defense, man. What he brought to the table this year was awesome. Freeing up Landry and Jeffrey to get loose along with Bud Dupree. 8 negative yard plays for a high-powered offense, man. 8 negative yard plays. Championship caliber defense, guys. But, he got some missed opportunities for the defense. So, Christian Fulton, I talked about that. Picked the wrong day to have his worst game. Missed tackle on Chase, right? So then here's the other one. This one right here was probably even worse for me because it was almost a touchdown if he didn't step out of bounds. 3rd and 1. You're responsible for outside coverage contain. Higgins comes in motion across the formation. Guess who's out there? Guess who's out there? You're supposed to be there. He was late on a flat route, a 2-yard flat route. He was late getting there, which turns because he was looking in the backfield. That's right.
That's your responsibility.
That's exactly right. Worst game of his career so far. So it goes from a potential Joe Burrow holding that ball a little longer to a 12-yard gain. It could have been a touchdown if he didn't step out of bounds, right?
It would have been a touchdown. Yeah, you're exactly right.
And so then you go to the touchdown run of Joe Mixon. He took a bad angle, got out of his force contain responsibilities on the backside. You're forced, you're contained. You contain the backside cutback lane. I don't know what he was looking at. He's in there mixing it up with the offensive line and ran inside. Guess what? Touchdown, wide open. Missed opportunities. I saw him. Yep. Byard and David Long comes up with the shoulder tackle. Jay Lee, you mentioned that on Chase on the shallow cross, 2-yard route turns into a 21-yard gain. Now they end up punting on that drive, but guess what? It flips the field position. Flips the field position, right? Janoris Jenkins, he dropped the pick 6. You already talked about it. Hit him in his hands, right? After Jamar Chase collided with I think it was Byard, if I'm not mistaken. And then I don't know what kind of coverage they were in when Janoris Jenkins got out of position and Chase got behind him for a 19-yard gain, which it ended up putting him in the field goal range, right, for the game.
They were in a man under over is what it was. The safety was supposed to be over. And Janoris Jenkins was supposed to be under with the man. The problem you have with that play is Janoris Jenkins didn't touch Chase coming off the line of scrimmage.
Right, which we saw the whole time they played man because they too far.
If he chucks him, the play is different.
Right.
It's because there's a delay to it. He didn't do it.
Right. And he was in bad position in the trail technique.
He just got beat.
He gave up the outside. That's right. He got beat. That's right. Missed opportunities, guys. Missed opportunities. So I'm going to get some comments in. And so it says, Howard says the loss is on coaching. You never take points off the board. Henry was a plus, but you don't bench Foreman. Agree, man. Foreman should have got more totes last night.
Yep.
Nathan Moat says you can see the false start on replay. It was so bad. We agree, man. Eddie Gray says, do you think we trade for Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson. They've already did something with Tannehill's contract, right? To bring Julio here. I don't know if he agrees to another adjustment to his contract, but
so that's the problem with the contract. This is my wheelhouse.
I know this your wheelhouse. Speak on it. Speak on it, brother.
When they restructured it, that's why you got that. So let's put all these Titan fans. If you remember the dark age days when was it Floyd Reese, late great Floyd Reese, had to basically get rid of the entire team. Well, that's because back then we kept doing what they're doing now and restructuring these contracts and putting all that money that they're in. Hence why Steve McNair got locked out the building at time because his was such big like that.
Right.
Now even with the cap number going up and you pay that dead money in 1 year, $50 million will hurt your entire. You won't be able to re-sign anybody coming up.
Right.
So best case scenario, and we've seen J-Rob finesse GMs in the league already. Best case scenario is you find a dummy like you did with Miami to take some of his contract and some of that dead money away, we don't have such a large pay on the back end. But that $50 million dead, it kicks in. His contract and Derrick Henry's contract, you can get out of them after next year, year 3. So once year 3 rolls around, that dead money drops off tremendously on both of their contracts that they signed 2 years ago. So you basically made it a 3-year deal, and you've got to get out of. You can get out of them next year.
And so here's a couple of comments that I've seen people post here for the show, man. We appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. The Bengals get on Twitter. Bates said that Tannehill stares his receivers down. So it was really glaring last night, especially on that first play of the game. And if they can pick that up, then I mean, that's something. That's a rookie. That's a rookie, right? That's a rookie quarterback, right?
Their head coach. Yeah, their head coach was his quarterback coach and all that in Miami. So he probably knew some little tricks against him for that. But yeah, you're right. He never looked for anybody outside of Nick Westbrook on that last play. Yeah. Similar to, again, Khalif Raymond last year against the Ravens. He just stared. He made up his mind when he snapped the ball.
I'm going to throw it right there. That's right. And he had not only had Ferguson, he had Hilliard out there in the flat. They could have got 5 yards.
Yes. But see, he's been doing that all season, though.
Yeah, right.
That's been the whole key for him all season long, is that and the bad thing about it, not only is he staring down receivers, and we've said it before, he's holding the ball too long.
Mm-hmm.
And he's throwing the ball late. And you know as well as I do, in the NFL playoffs, those windows where you can make it in the regular season, they get a lot smaller.
The game is faster. Those windows are tighter. Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that. We was having a conversation about that last night. You can't play the same way in the playoffs that you did in the regular season. It just doesn't work.
They run them same plays out of shotgun with Derrick here in the backfield on short yardage. Read option every time.
Everybody's picked it every apart.
Time. Right.
Everybody's picked it apart.
Right. Somebody said, Ryan, and somebody else said in the comment that I think it was Dion, Kerry Combs is not at Ohio State anymore. They can bring him back for the defensive back coach.
I think he did. I think he signed with Cincinnati. Somebody did.
I thought he
did. They sign him? Okay.
I thought somebody picked. Yeah, University of Cincinnati picked him up.
Okay. Well, hey, he's employed. He's a good coach though. And so, fellas, coming to the end of this season the way it did, we got some big decisions coming up, right? We talked about quarterback. We talked about offensive coordinator, AJ Brown. They're gonna have to give him. They're gonna have to go and work on his contract now because his ceiling's gonna be high, really high, and they're not gonna be able to afford him. Landry, we got to get that extension done. We got to keep that front four together. We got something special there. And we talked about Big Jeff, but then here's the other glaring need outside of quarterback, the offensive line. We've got to start rebuilding the offensive line. The left side of the line, you got Lawan going to his 10th year next year, and then Stafford going to year 13. And so you got guys that's got a lot of mileage on them, got some injuries that's starting to affect them. And we're going to have to do something about that left side of the offensive line, gents.
Hey, look. Here's the thing on that offensive line. Yeah, you got to adjust that bad boy, because really when you stop and think about it, you got to go out. You got to make sure you got a good center.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ben Jones,
too.
I'm taking nothing away from him, but he played most of the season really banged up. I mean, the fact that he fought through the entire 17-game season and played through all the games was amazing to me, because there was a couple of times he looked like he couldn't even walk between plays and everything. Mm-hmm. So I know with him, and I agree with you on that left side of the line, you have got to shore that up. You got to go out and find you a backup left tackle who can move.
Yep.
People may say what they want to about Taylor Lewan, but
he played good.
You and I saw it when we went to training camp. Mm-hmm. His athleticism is what makes him a top left tackle in this league. Defensively, they got two problems, man. On both sides of the ball, you got to sign Simmons and you got to sign AJ Brown.
That's right. You got to. You got to.
They both came in at the same draft, and I think you got to sign AJ Brown before you sign Simmons. You're gonna pick up his 5th-year option on Simmons.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
If I'm not mistaken, AJ Brown is coming up. Correct me if I'm wrong, J. Lou. I think he's coming up this year.
Yeah, they both are. They're already talking about extend. Simmons has hit the mark where he can be extended. I think you see them do an extension on him. I think you see them hold off on AJ and try to renegotiate next. I think you see Taylor Lewan, if he really wants to be here, because again, this is where the Titans fans got to remember 2 drafts ago have put this franchise behind
On the
because
line. That's right.
Isaiah Wilson was terrible, and then you don't know what the rookie or Dylan's going to be. But you can release Taylor Lewan, and his dead cap is only 1.7 million. But I think you see a restructure there from Taylor because I think he really wants to be here and help the team out. And then Julio, is quiet as it's kept. He's under contract again for next year.
Right.
The dead cap on him because they did some restructuring during the season on him to give us a little bit of money towards the back. His dead cap number is about 14 million. So, going into the season, if we just started off season right now, which we are, I think we only got about 10 million to play with. So they've got some opportunity. They got some things they got to figure out. Again, guys, y'all remember about 4 weeks ago, and again, I'm gonna hate to be right about this, but I just got that feeling. I don't think we see Harold Landry in a Titans uniform again next year. I look at J. Rob's history. So this is the thing about J. Rob in the 6 years he's been GM, 5-6 years he's been GM. I can't remember anybody that we franchise tagged. That's one. And I don't think you can. I think Landry is good. I think they're going to give Landry the Jonnu Smith, the Corey Davis treatment, where we're not going to franchise you, and we're going to let you test yourself out there in free agency. And again, you got to remember the free agency is blowing up this year after COVID. And I think the market's going to be set high because he's earned himself a paycheck.
Right.
And I think that's one where you're going to see the Titans say, we can go find us another one. Again, I hope I'm wrong because I want to keep that football together. But if there's my wild card for some off-season moves that I just think happens, I just got a suspicious feeling that we don't see Mr. Landry again next year.
Well, here's the problem with that, because here's the thing I think last night showed you is that you're probably not going to see Jayon Brown nor Rashard Evans already.
Yeah, we already knew that.
And
yeah.
if you let Landry, I just think. And I think they may franchise him and try to work the deal through the offseason.
And that's what I hope.
Because that's what they did with Derrick Henry.
Okay, that's right. Derrick Henry was the one.
Yeah,
you knew I think everybody knew he wasn't leaving. So you're right. That's the one that we franchised and then worked it. Outside of that, I can't remember anybody else that we've had on a franchise tag.
But I think with Landry, the way he's played and how he's played and been productive, he might be the one to get the franchise tag and allow them to work and get everybody else signed up as far as the defense is concerned. They're gonna have to address cornerback again. Yes. I think. And bottom line is this: if J. Rob is any kind of GM, really, you had your scouts going across the world trying to find a pro style quarterback. That you can draft. Don't have to be from a big school, but you got to draft a quarterback that's going to be your
got to be somebody.
And I've been saying it for the past 2 years. You have got to find your quarterback in the draft who could come in and play, who could come in and be a pro style quarterback. The problem, like I was telling my boy Taylor Stokes today, the problem you have today is that everybody's running spread offenses. And with spread offenses, they all do the same thing. They hold the ball and wait for the guy to break open instead of anticipating them being open. Unless you can find a quarterback who's better, who out of a spread, who really can get rid of the ball and knows where he's going with it, it's hard to find a good pro style quarterback.
So let me get this in. So Will says, Will's got a question. Good question here, Will. Appreciate that. He says, do you think Mariota wins this game in the situation? Not a Mariota fan, just asking our opinion. Does Mariota win that game yesterday? That's a great question.
I would say this: I don't think you see the 3 interceptions.
I don't think you see the 3 interceptions either, and I think Mariota just the threat of his legs a little bit more changes that outcome tremendously.
But my whole thing is also this too. We've been complaining about it all year with that offense. How many boots did we see?
We didn't see any last night.
0 last night.
And that would have been a good play to run on the 2-point conversion. I'm just saying. On the third one.
And that's my whole point, man. That's my whole point.
Yep.
You're gonna have to. One of the things they're gonna have to do is address the offensive coordinator because your offense took a nosedive.
He's got to go, man.
It didn't just drop. It took a nosedive.
He's got to go.
I mean, you're going to have to address that, and I'm sure J. Rob and Amy and Vrabel are going to sit down, and that's going to be one of the topics of conversation. What are we going to do about this offense?
And the offense got to do something because I mean, the chances of seeing another New England dynasty slim to none. Cincinnati's the closest. All four of their stars, the running back, the two receivers, the quarterback, all 25 and younger. Mm-hmm. So you've got at least 3 more years. You got a couple of them on rookie contracts. So you got at least 3 more years there. The Titans window is shrinking. Yeah. Let's just be honest. And it's shrinking, and it's at a point where you still own the AFC South. As long as Carson Wentz is up in Indianapolis, I'm not afraid of the Colts. Right. Jacksonville's going to be Jacksonville, and who knows what's going on down there in Houston now. So you've got a stranglehold on your division. This is where you've got to make some kind of splash. And again, it has to be the smart move where you don't put your team in salary cap, abundance is you get rid of as a coordinator. You bring Tanny back on a 1-year deal, but I agree with you, G. You've got to bring somebody in. Think about it. Mariota, we brought Tannehill in to give him competition. He wins the job. I don't really think Tannehill is scared of Logan Woodside right now. Let's just be honest. None of us have seen nothing from him. So you've got to have somebody in there to have that competition with him for that 1 year until you can get up out of his contract.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, but your bottom line is it really they have got to they got to address the OC first and foremost. I think that's going to have to happen. And yeah, they got to go out and find a quarterback, man. I mean, you just got to have a good viable backup that's going to give Tannehill some competition because that was one of the problems he had in Miami was that he had no competition down there. So he wasn't pushed to be better. He's gotten comfortable and he reverted back to Tannehill of Miami, and that's the problem I think you're running into with him. You have got to really J. Rob has got his work cut out for him. This is going to be one of his most critical off seasons, in all honesty, because let's just be real about it. Those drafts he had were actually really good, and those players are paying dividends, and he's got to play. Because let's be remembered now, David Long Jr.
Right.
He was what, a 3rd, 4th round pick?
No. He was 6. He was a 6th round pick.
6th round pick. Yeah.
You got to sign him.
Yeah. He was in that draft where we only had like 5 draft picks, period, and they all are balling out right now.
That's right.
And wasn't Hooker in that draft too?
Yes, sir. I think he was 3rd.
Yeah, he was 3rd. So
that draft, man, that was a monster.
Look, now Dion, I appreciate you, brother. I do. He says, and he could be right. I don't know. We haven't seen enough of Logan Woodside. He says Logan Woodside's the next Tom Brady ain't waiting.
He obviously ain't showing it in practice.
Right, yeah, because he's not even pushing for the
He's not on
position.
The field.
Right. So, maybe it takes an injury for him to go, for Tannehill to go down, for Logan to come in and pull that Brady magic out of his pocket or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Thank y'all, man, for hanging with us throughout the season. Another year, another season of halftime adjustments.
Yes.
It was a tough one. This one hurt.
Yeah,
this one hurt, man. This was the year I thought the talent, we had enough talent there to make it to the Super Bowl. I really did. I really did. I didn't think the game would be like it was last night, but when I saw the interception on the first play, I was, oh man. Then you go 3 and I was, oh man, here we go. I mean, 37 yards of offense in the first quarter alone. No conversions on 3rd down, a pick, a sack. I mean, and then Kern didn't have a great game either. He didn't have and I was reading something. It might have been Corey Curtis off Channel 2. He said he won't be surprised to see Kern retire after this season.
He might.
That could be possible.
He might.
He's got a lot of mileage on it.
You can tell he's got a lot of mileage on that leg, and it's starting to affect him. And your boy Fat Randy just disappointed me in the second half, man. He made his field goal,
but he can't kick off worth nothing. I was going to say the same thing.
Flip, man.
Yeah, that the quiet as is kept. That's what's got to be. And I think somebody put in the comments eearlier. Special teams did not do good.
No,
and we've got to revamp that in the offseason as well.
Yeah. And I don't know if they bring. I don't think they're going to bring my boy Chris Shake back.
Yeah, he might be a casualty of
He
cap
might,
space.
and see if he's a casualty, and you already know Rashad Evans is a casualty. The only person left from that draft is Landry.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
He's the only one because we only had 4 picks that year.
And we had a quarterback that didn't pay it out.
That didn't make it.
Right. Let's see. Let me go back and get this comment. So Steven Burwell, man, appreciate the comment, Steven. He says, do we think Vrabel was out-coached last night?
By himself.
I was gonna say that.
Right.
Because Cincinnati didn't do nothing that you didn't expect them to do.
They didn't. Right.
They did. What happened was it's just a young team. You gave them confidence because they stayed in the game, and they got a superstar quarterback. I mean, somebody took a beating like he did and kept on ticking. He did what he's supposed to do.
He's a baller.
He's a baller. I can tell you right now, if they need Kansas City or Buffalo gives them a better chance of beating them. I think they can match Kansas City only because Kansas City's finesse. I think Buffalo could be a little bit more physical because if you saw it last night, Cincinnati's not a physical team on the offensive side or defensive side of the ball. They were getting whooped in the trenches like we thought. So, you get a team, they definitely don't want to see the 49ers from the NFC side if they was in the Super Bowl. But to your point, G, I agree. I think he outcoached himself.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna go back to that comment earlier. That we think we could have won the Super Bowl being a run first team. Physical line of scrimmage wins football games. I'm just saying. Physical line of scrimmage. Somebody else said that too, man. So I appreciate that comment. It says, let's see, do we have the talent? We just have an incompetent OC and a QB that can't get it. That's Dion, man. We agree with you on that. So Vrabel just outcoached himself. He didn't. I thought actually that the Cincinnati coach panicked in the game, because his offense couldn't get going. I thought he made some questionable decisions himself. And I was like, well, we got him when we want him, right? Because they couldn't do nothing. So he's like, what can I do? I can't protect my quarterback. I can't run the ball. So what can we do? And so credit to him, man. He started running. He put Joe Burrow on the center. They started running the ball in the second half a little bit.
Well, and if you notice in the second half, one of the things they adjusted was that because we were dropping in zone, they were filling the middle with either the tight end or running back.
Yeah, they were coming with a tight end.
This will let you know how Cincinnati is probably going to be good for a while because Joe Burrow, he was smart. Like I said, he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't throw any really what you call bad passes, but he was taking the check down every time he presented himself.
The one thing he got to learn is he gonna have to learn to get rid of the ball quicker because this ain't college.
They better get rid of that off. They better fix that offensive line, or he won't make it.
That's what they got to fix.
Because that line is garbage.
He's a ball of a quarterback, man.
Oh yeah. He's an outstanding quarterback.
Last night, you can't punk him.
No. Give him credit. Give him credit, man. He's definitely going to be one of the top.
That's what he did.
Yeah, but they better face the offensive line if they think he's gonna play a long career in Cincinnati. Because if not, he gonna. Because I thought that hit that they hit him and they blew the whistle dead. I thought he got hurt on them because he got up limping a little bit, and so I was like, uh-oh. Oh man, yeah. Will says, "Do we notice how Tannehill is always smiling on the sideline after he throws an interception? He was smiling a lot last night, which I was like, what's so funny? What's going on, man? I don't know. But anyway." Man, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate you supporting the show, the comments, the questions, man. Another year halftime adjustments, man. We had J. Lou on the show this season. And little J. Lou came in late on the season. But man, we appreciate
it, gentlemen.
Rocking with us, man. See, Dion says he has to disagree. He don't think Vrabel outcoached himself. The offense was simply bad and killed another great defensive game plan. Yeah, it did. I mean, everybody agrees that Todd Downing needs to go, and he was the at fault here. So I will say this: that Vrabel should have intervened in the offense like he did against Miami. Yes. He should have gotten that headset and say, "Man, if you don't start throwing that ball down the field and keep going to AJ and Julio, we're gonna have some problems here." Right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
although I will give him credit, he did pull a fast one on one play. I thought in the fourth quarter when he went and asked about the time on the clock and everything.
Oh yeah,
and got them to stop the play. Got a free timeout out of it.
Yeah. So, hey man, we here. This halftime adjustment. We thank you again for joining us, supporting us. Who wins the Super Bowl, fellas? Before we sign off tonight, who wins the Super Bowl in your pick? Again, physicality on the line of scrimmage wins football. San Francisco.
I'm picking the 49ers.
Yeah.
Until somebody proves Deebo Samuel's wrong, he's always.
I guess last night though.
Oh, they said he's gonna be fine.
Okay.
He's the kryptonite for Jimmy G, because Jimmy G's gonna throw him out of the game, but Debo's gonna find a way to keep them in the game. But I think that's a bad matchup for the Rams next week. Divisional game. It'll more than likely be a home game for the Niners, because it's a short trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know the score of the game right now. I think the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl to represent the AFC. I think the magic for Cincinnati runs out next week.
It's 14-14 halftime.
Okay, so yeah,
Ooh.
so I think the magic runs out. I think Cincinnati would rather see Kansas City again, because I think they just match up better with them. Buffalo's just a little bit more physical, and that would help. But I think the 49ers can. I think this is the year that they make up for the mistake they had a couple years ago.
Yeah, I agree with you. Dion said he'd have loved to see the Titans in the 49ers. That'd have been a slugfest, man. That would have been a great football game. Eddie Gray says, why didn't Tannehill audible out of that 3rd and 1 call? That's a great question. He was audible a lot last night. He was calling plays a lot of scrimmage. He was checking, That's a great question.
He didn't audible because he thought that was his Michael Vick moment. That play was called for him to run that option. He thought that was the 4th down play. To me, on the 4th down one, that was the perfect opportunity. Because you see teams running a lot of times when on the goal line or the 2-yard line, everybody sails out for the run. You have the tight end sneak out and you pass. That 4th down play, Cincinnati had 10 men in the box, it looked like.
Yep.
That would have been a perfect time to fake it to Henry, and you have one of them tight ends chip and fall right out. And that, who knows what they would have did. But yeah, it's again, man, it's where I think sometimes we just call the play. I wonder how much freedom he really has in Todd Downey's system as opposed to Arthur Smith's. It don't look like a lot.
It don't look like a lot.
Yeah.
And I think after he threw that first interception, they were definitely trying to shut him down as far as throwing the ball was concerned, because, and again, they had good reason. He was late on everything. You could see from the get-go that he was struggling. He struggled throwing the ball the whole game. Even that dime he threw to AJ Brown was more of a great catch than anything, because I was like, man, I couldn't believe he caught the ball.
Well, that was actually a good throw. I'm gonna have to give him. I'm gonna have to. I mean, considering where he put the ball at, that. You don't see that out of him a bunch, but that right there, that was a great throw. Even a better catch, though. To your point, I agree with you, man, because he caught it with one hand, and that was outstanding.
And he was right in his pocket, man. I had to give him credit when I saw the replay. I'm like, well, dang, he fit that one right in there. I mean, it's similar to that one he had against Chicago last year.
Yeah. So got to get a new OC. Got a lot of question marks. Money's going to be an issue coming up with all these young superstars, but you got to sign your core. You got to bring your core back. And, and quiet as kept. Derrick Henry's 29 next season. So I'm just saying. For a guy that's had so many carries in the last 2-3 seasons, you got to start looking at somebody else forming, maybe. I mean, hopefully they sign him back or they bring somebody else in. I thought he was a great addition. And like we said earlier, he should have had more plays, more carries last night. But anyway, hey, man, it's tough one to swallow. We'll move on, and we'll see what the 2022-2023 season brings for the two-tone blue. Dion says Brady or Rodgers would have made Todd Downey go sit at the kids' table with those bad play calls.
Hey, he's right.
You're right. He's right. Hey, any chance we get A-Rod here? I don't know, man. Wishful thinking, though. Wishful thinking.
Not unless he's going to come on the Chief.
Right. But if he's looking for a win now situation, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But anyway,
the defense and the running game we got, absolutely.
Right. And you got a stud and receiver, and you got Julio that can still get you some catches, when it counts, when he's healthy. We saw that last night.
And that, A-Rod's he's an arrogant something, but you got to give him his props. He can throw that ball. He can throw that pill.
Right, he can. Eddie Gray says he chokes in the playoffs. He has choked here lately. You're right. Yep. You're right. It's been a long time since they lifted a Lombardi up. So they were talking about that last night. Man, appreciate you. Go ahead.
I mean, when you think about with him, who's his coach for the majority of his career?
We saw what he did at Dallas. He choked.
We saw what he's doing at Dallas.
He jumped off that team.
the whole time he was with Green Bay, you know, that was the biggest problem they had. They couldn't run the ball. He didn't believe in running the ball. And what's he doing down in Dallas? He's not running the ball.
Not running the ball.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, so yeah, I go with 49ers, and I'm going to say Buffalo too, man. I think Buffalo's going to exercise that demon tonight against Kansas City. I think they're a little bit more physical. I agree with you, J. Lou. Kansas City's more finesse. And I think you see Buffalo and 49ers in there. That'll be like a throwback Super Bowl, really. You got the 49ers and the Bills and, you know, some of the teams.
The deja vu would be the 49ers and the Bengals.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the Bengals, they can't block water. So they Hey, look, I think I could have stood up and got a sack last night.
Man.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. Probably not.
Hey,
Anyway.
man, like I said, when you start counting the ones they took away,
Yeah.
they broke the record with sacks, man.
Oh yeah, it was really 11. You take those 2 away from those penalties, it was 11 sacks. But anyway, guys, appreciate you, man. We've done it again. Hey, stick with us. We'll be back. You got off season coming. You got free agent signing. You got the draft coming up. We'll be back, man. Check us out. We'll be putting stuff out, and stick with us. We'll be back next season. We appreciate all the love and support of the show, the comments, the questions, man. Just tighten up, man. We still here.
Hey, man.
We still here.
Hey, man, just remember the combine is only a month away.
Yeah, so we got a lot. Hey, we got time to take off a little bit, and we'll be preparing and rejuvenating and re-energizing and getting over this loss.
you know I love the off season, so this is my time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's right. Deion said he's got some ideas he's gonna write for the upcoming off season and what we should do. He'll post it for us because he loves us so much, man. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it, Deion.
Yeah, appreciate all y'all. Eddie
Deion.
Gray, Nathan Moat, all y'all guys, man. Edward Lede, Will Dotson. It's so many names. I don't want to. I'm not forgetting y'all on purpose because there's so many names. But Carlson, we appreciate all y'all supporting the show, and man, stick with us. We're still here. And we appreciate it. But we are out of here tonight for halftime adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G-Wit, J. Lou, and Lou. Baby. It is J. Lou. Tighten up, man. We are out of here. Peace.
Peace.